Sometimes filming a movie doesn't always go to plan. From acting blunders to stunt mistakes or improvised lines, sometimes what's on the script isn't what actually plays out on set. But some of the best performances can happen in moments when actors aren't really acting, and it occurs more often than you think. From Now You See Me to Fight Club, here are the best times when the actors were not acting. In the movie Now You See Me, Isla Fisher's character performs a magic trick that requires her to be in a tank underwater that she needs to escape from. In the scene, she struggles and starts to drown, unable to get out. While filming the scene, Isla was actually in the tank, and she wasn't pretending to drown. She was actually drowning. Her release chain got stuck on her costume, and she wasn't able to get out quickly. Everyone thought she was just acting really well, however. She was actually panicking, struggling to get out of the tank for nearly 3 minutes before she was rescued. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more spicy content like this video. It's a small gesture for you, but very bit of support makes a big difference for us. Now let's keep rolling. 1975's Jaws managed to give a whole generation a lasting phobia of a really big fish. There's a haunting rumor about the film that insists the actress who becomes the first victim of the shark, Susan Backlini, screamed in real terror due to her ribs being broken by the device yanking her under the water. While there's no evidence of this being true, director Steven Spielberg did decide to make it a surprise when the shark would attack, meaning that her startled sudden gasp and choke of water was a real response. In Django Unchained, good old Leonardo DiCaprio plays a viciously cruel plantation owner named Calvin Candy. In a scene where he intimidates Broomhilda, Kerry Washington, Candy angrily slaps his palm down on a table. The hand comes up bloody because it's covered in DiCaprio's actual blood. DiCaprio was so into the scene that he swung his meat hook into the table as hard as he could. Though it was an unplanned accident, he ran with it in the scene, using the bloody hand as a way to show how crazed and determined to be a giant asshole his character was.
His old being.
Hey! Don't lay your palms flat on that tabletop! If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels of that sawed off.
In Fight Club, Edward Norton and Brad Pitt's characters share a complicated, close relationship. Tyler Durden evangelizes the benefits of escaping the culture of being mundane and materialistic by punching your buddies a bunch of times. Norton's character hits Brad Pitt in the ear, to which Pitt replies,
"Hit me in the ear!"
His incredulity was real. The line was unscripted, as was Norton boxing Pitt's ear. The director whispered to Norton just before the scene was shot to go for the ear rather than the shoulder as had been planned.
We should do this again sometime.
In Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Viggo Mortensen played Aragorn. There's a scene in the movie in which Viggo's character stumbles upon the remains of their hobbit friends. In complete anguish, he breaks down, dropping to his knees. In this scene, he actually wasn't acting. He kicked the helmet on the ground so hard that he actually broke 2 of his toes. After kicking the helmet, he screamed in anguish, dropping to his knees. Unknowingly, we'd think that he was just filled with grief. However, he was screaming out in literal pain because of his broken toes. Quentin Tarantino does nothing by half measure, not even when it comes to choking out his own actors. In the scene where Diane Kruger's character gets choked to death by the reprehensible Nazi played by Christoph Waltz, Tarantino decided that the best way to really sell being choked is to actually be choked. Can't argue with that logic, but that required Kruger to take one for the team. She agreed to allow Tarantino himself to choke her, in order to get the red face, bulging blood vessels and tears that comes with real choking. The 2017 remake of It goes out of its way to portray convincing horror by frightening the juice boxes out of its grade school cast, to ensure that the cast of kids gave realistic expressions of horror as they first discover Pennywise, the horrible clown monster. The directors made sure they had no idea what he looked like and kept Skarsgård separated from them. The kids didn't see images of the clown until they filmed the projector scene. Finn Wolfhard and his fellow actors watched the screen and the clown appear for the first time. Their growing horror and final shock was as real as the audience's. In Back to the Future Part 3, Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, finds himself hanging from a rope by his neck. They rehearsed the scene a bunch of times to ensure that nothing would go wrong and no one would get hurt. In rehearsals, everything ran smoothly as they maintained space between the rope and his neck so he wouldn't get hurt. However, when it came time to filming the real thing, the rope was pulled too tight and it was caught on film. As a result, his reaction to being hung from a rope was real. Not to mention, everyone on the set thought he was acting, and it wasn't until he passed out that they realized something was wrong. He was revived, thankfully, and wound up being okay. The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which starred Steve Carell as well, is a comedy that explores the various hijinks that Carell's not yet deflowered character gets into during his quest to pursue a romantic relationship, and his trepidation at reaching the final frontier. In one scene, he attempts to get his chest waxed, thinking it might make himself more sexually appealing. Rather than going for prop hair or something more sensible, Carell got his chest waxed for real. For those who have never tried waxing a hairy body part, here's what it feels like.
You ready?
Yep.
Itch. Me.
Suck it, motherfucker! You shouldn't! Oh, I hate you! I hate you so much!
The most famous scene from the iconic sci-fi horror movie Alien features that little scamp, the chest burster. John Hurt's character is innocently eating some space salad when suddenly he gets a stomachache. His comrades crowd around him for what turns out to be a wild surprise. The other actors give some very convincing looks of absolute shock and horror as a nasty worm-like alien explodes from Hurt's chest, spraying them with blood. They're surprised that the little human cake popper was not acting. They were not told about the prop alien and blood explosion, so the camera could catch their real looks of, what the hell just happened?
Oh, God!
In The Office, Jenna Fisher's character Pam has a complicated relationship with Michael. He's a source of frustration for her, but she simultaneously cares about him deeply. So when it comes time for Michael to move on from the small office in Scranton, Pam gives him a moving goodbye that we can't hear, but the emotion of their embrace is palpable. Fisher explains that her raw emotion in this scene is very real, as she'd grown a deep affection for her co-star Carol, and was saying goodbye to him after years working together on the show. According to Fisher, that was me talking to Steve. I told him all the ways I was going to miss him when he left our show. Those were real tears and a real goodbye. That's what she said, for real. And now we're sad all over again. These were the best moments where actors weren't actually acting in movies. If you enjoyed discovering these authentic moments behind the scenes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Have you ever noticed any other instances where actors weren't acting? Share your thoughts and any moments we might have missed in the comments below. Stay tuned for more fascinating insights into your favorite movies and TV shows right here on our channel. Until next time.